Kern Golden Empire Television. Kern County in Depth with 17's Jim Scott.
Hello and welcome to Kern County in Depth. I'm Eytan Wallace in for Jim Scott. Thank you so much for being with us. And today we have the Honorable Congressman TJ Cox, Democrat of Fresno of the 21st Congressional District. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time.
Great to be here, Eytan. Always great to see you.
Well, thank you. And so I want to first show our viewers on screen a map of the 21st Congressional District. You see it includes parts of Bakersfield and extends as far north as Mendota, that's Fresno County, and as far south as Arvin. It's a very big district, Congressman, and a district that you have represented now for roughly 200 days. So the first question I want to ask you is just, how are you doing? How's Congress treating you?
Fantastic, Eytan. It's, we're getting a lot done. We're working on important legislation. From reducing the cost of health care, reducing the cost of prescription drugs, bringing clean air and clean water to the hardworking families of the district. So we're doing a lot on the legislative side, but what's been more meaningful and what's been the best feedback for me is things just like the other day, a Republican farmer said, hey, TJ, I tell you what, I didn't vote for you, but I think you're doing a good job. And a young woman, right after we passed the Dream and Promise Act to provide a pathway to citizenship for our Dreamers and our TPS recipients. A young woman from the district, she came up to me and said, hey, Congressman, you make me feel like somebody finally cares about me. Those types of feedback and statements and sentiments tell us that we're on the right track, that we're doing the right thing, that we're working for the people.
Speaking of the first 200 days, I want to read a press release that your staff sent out, dated July 31st, and it reads as, quote, the 116th Congress is only 200 days old, but one of the most ambitious members of the freshman class has already racked up a list of legislative wins in expanding health care access, funding sorely needed water infrastructure improvements, preserving our agriculture economy, improving education in the Central Valley, and helping pass legislation to create a fair, humane, safe immigration system. 200 days, according to your office. You've done a lot. Can you give any specifics?
I can tell you what, I just got an email from my office in D.C. that there's a bill that I had sponsored. It's on the President's desk, ready to be signed into law today. And this is a bill that's so important for our farmers. It basically provides an updated and increased bankruptcy limit. So, some of the farmers that have been having very difficult times because of these tariffs and because of the trade situation around the world and because of a kind of a global recession in ag, a lot of our farmers, as you know, have gone bankrupt, right? This bill allows them to keep producing, to be able to reorganize their finances and live for another day. And so I'm very, very happy to be working on legislation in the first 6 months that's already being signed into law.
And this is a bipartisan bill?
Very, very much a bipartisan bill. And actually the thing is that 2/3 of the bills that I've co-sponsored or signed on to or written, 2/3 of them have been bipartisan. Very happy to work across the aisle with my Republican colleagues. And, I can tell you one thing, is that the Republican colleagues and our Democratic colleagues, we're all there for the same purpose. We might have different philosophies about how to serve the people, but we're all there to make a positive difference in the lives of the people that we serve.
I just read what your office has touted as a number of accomplishments. How about also in health care? It says legislative wins in expanding health care access. Would you care to provide specifics?
Sure. With this administration's attacks on the ACA, right? And that there was a federal appeals court case just very recently that looks like there's a real possibility that this administration and the Republicans are going to get rid of the ACA. And they're going to throw 20 million Americans off the insurance rolls. And worse yet, they're going to remove protections for pre-existing conditions for all of these hardworking families. Well, I'm not going to let that happen. And so we passed a number of pieces of legislation to stabilize and protect the ACA, to bring down the cost of prescription drugs, and also to expand rural access to health care, which is just so important. Health care is just so vital and important to me. It's what I was doing before. It's what my wife works on. And that's something that we're going to deliver for the middle-class families of the 21st, California, and our nation.
Right, and I do want to make sure I understand. So you passed it, and then it only becomes law if the president signs it. Has the president indicated any of those pieces of legislation that he will sign?
Well, as you know, all these pieces of legislation, these pieces of bipartisan legislation that can really make a difference in the lives of people, many of those are being stalled in the Senate, right? Is that they don't want to have, it's unfortunate, They don't want to see that the Democrats have any wins. And so the worst example is just what was recently been put forward with regard to election security and protecting our election systems. There is very strong bipartisan legislation that went to the Senate, and it was killed there by the Senate leader, by Mitch McConnell. I mean, things that simply, a simple bill that said, if a foreign government offers to help you on your campaign, you have to report that to the FBI. And that's common sense. That was killed by the Senate.
So we're kind of talking about challenges, and with that I want to segue into your tenure in the first 200 days. We talked about some of what you consider achievements. What have been some of the greatest challenges?
You know, some of the greatest challenges is that there's so much to do and so little time to do it. There's only, you know, 4 legislative days a week that you can get some things done. There's thousands of bills being introduced, and you know, you've got to fight hard and you know, throw some elbows to get your legislation heard and moved up the chain to actually get passed. But we've, you know, passed this legislation as I was saying, to help farmers. But the other thing I'm very proud of is that one of our first town halls that we had in Hanford, a veteran came to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing about the unacceptable rate of veteran suicide?" And then about a month later, he said, "Hey, I'm going to organize a trip across the United States to bring awareness to this issue." And he and a group rode motorcycles across the U.S. They touched 21 states, went to Arlington National Cemetery. They came back. And, you know, a couple months after that, I was able to add $10 million to the recent defense budget to increase programming and therapies for veterans that are suffering from this disease. So what he was concerned about in his pleas turned into real action, real legislation, and real benefits for this veteran. So I'm very happy to serve people in that manner.
For sure. We're talking a lot of issues here, a lot of topics with Congressman TJ Cox. We are asking you to stay, if you don't mind, for the next segment. You have time?
Absolutely. As I say to my constituents, I work for you.
You're watching Kern County In Depth. We'll be back after the break.
This is no ordinary anniversary event. More Furniture for Less is cutting payments in half. Our vendors are celebrating our 42 years with special buys on our most popular furniture. And we're passing those savings on to you by lowering prices throughout the store. We're cutting payments in half. It's no ordinary anniversary. It's the 42nd anniversary event going on now at More Furniture for Less.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to virtually eliminate your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-905-1069. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-905-1069.
A revolution is coming. A flaming hot burrito revolution. The Hot Tito's Burrito. Available at Tacos La Villa Mexican Grill.
And now, your KGET.com prosuno.
Radiosurgery with the Elective Versa HD is an advanced form of radiation treatment that is safe and effective. It's like having surgery without a scalpel.
For more expert advice, go to KGET.com/prosuno.
Welcome back. You're watching Kern County In Depth, and joining us right now, Congressman TJ Cox, Democrat of Fresno of the 21st Congressional District. Thanks again. I want to get right into the issues now, Congressman. First, as the saying goes, It's the economy, stupid, isn't that what they say? So I'll read you some recent reports from July. The Labor Department says that in July, 164,000 jobs were added. That was just 1,000 short of the 165,000 that the Dow Jones forecasted. Wages increased 3.2%, yet we're seeing in some of the Democratic presidential debates that Democratic hopefuls are saying that the economy is not performing well. So what's the case here? Congressman McCarthy says it's the best economy we've seen in 50 years. What is your take?
Well, Kevin McCarthy should say, thank you, Obama. All right? This is a continuation of the policies that really the Democrats put in place to recover from the Great Recession the last time the Republicans were in charge. But this is what most people are saying, is that if the economy is so great, why are we running trillion-dollar deficits? You know, that's like saying, hey, honey, you know, I'm making a lot of money, and we've got a big house, and we got a nice car, but every month, right, you know, we're spending a lot more than we're taking in. And so, and you can see just very recently that the Fed cut interest rates to be able to juice the economy that much more. You know, so to a certain extent, like this administration and this president may be known for, it's really an economy that to a certain extent is built on a house of cards.
One of the big social issues here in California is homelessness and affordable housing. What is the federal government doing? What are you doing to help with these significant issues? You know, homelessness is just so dear to me, and it's one of the focuses that I was doing before I was elected, and it's something I'm doing today. And that's a very, very bipartisan issue, because we know, I mean, homelessness, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Every time you turn around, there's another tent popping up, or another poor, unfortunate man or woman who's living on the streets. And, you know, the high rate of, and the unacceptable rate of homeless veterans. And so there's bipartisan bills in there to be able to provide more grants and more programming for local municipalities to enact the programs that they think are the best to combat this problem. But one, we know we need a lot more housing, we need a lot more mental services, and a lot more outreach to be able to really do something about this unacceptable situation we have here in the U.S. today. Do you plan to get any legislation on these topics passed?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is something, you know, as I was saying earlier, that 2/3 of the bills that we work on are really bipartisan bills. And I think we all agree, I mean, everyone agrees that the rate of homelessness, and certainly the rate of homeless veterans, is unacceptable. And we need to work with our state and mostly our local governments to be able to provide them with the tools they need to resolve this issue.
All right. Well, on that note, I do want to switch topics to immigration now. 71% of your district is Latino. Republicans and even many Democrats say they support border security, but the question here is, how do we go about that? And the president says we have to have a border wall. Do you agree with that?
Well, what we have to do is, number one, we have to make sure that anybody here in the United States is here legally. I think we all agree on that anybody here should be here legally. But we need programming and a program and policies in place to be able to ensure that, one, we can meet our workforce needs, we're not tearing apart families, and certainly kids aren't ending up in cages. But more broader than a border wall, what we need to do is attack the root cause of the problem, which is migration. And how do we keep migration from happening in the first place? You know, and most of the migrants at the border today are coming from the so-called Northern Triangle, you know, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala. And, you know, why are they leaving? Because of personal security issues and lack of economic opportunity. So what we really need is a Marshall Plan. You know about the Marshall Plan right after World War II, where the U.S. spent lots of investment to rebuild Europe. And if we did that in the Northern Triangle, we're going to provide that personal security, we're going to provide that economic opportunity. People won't have a reason to leave. I'll give you an example. Costa Rica and Belize are right there. You don't see people from Costa Rica or Belize at the border. Why? Because they have that personal security and economic opportunity. And those are strategic investments that we should make that'll pay off for us in the long run.
And heading back, though, to in our borders just for a moment, there's a reason why Congress, many Americans say, has such a low approval rating, and that's because a lot of people feel not a lot is getting done, especially on this matter. Is it time to have comprehensive immigration reform?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there was a 2013 bill, but 9 years ago that was passed overwhelmingly by the Senate. And it was never allowed to see the light of day by a Republican Congress. You know, this is an issue that one side uses to divide us. We absolutely need comprehensive immigration reform to, once again, meet our workforce needs, to make sure that whoever here is here legally and we're not tearing apart families. And really, we're providing the youth and vitality to be the dynamic country we've always been.
All right, well, and I want to switch to another topic important here in the Central Valley, that being water. I was actually with you on the day that you brought House Natural Resources Committee Chairman Raul Grijalva to the district to show him the need for increased water allocations and also increased allocations for agriculture. First of all, he came and he inspected, he saw the district. What did he have to tell you about what he saw?
When he left, he said, TJ, thanks so much. This has been eye-opening. I can see you need more water infrastructure. We need to make those investments here in California and throughout the nation. And so, you know, this was the first time in over a decade that any natural resources committee chairman had been in the district. And I was happy to have him. It was very, very fruitful. And the water districts, the communities, and the ag representatives that we met were also appreciative of that visit.
And I know we're running out of time here, but I quickly want to ask you, what's being done to help bring water to this district and to fix the Kern Canal? Well,
you know, just the other day, I chaired a natural resources subcommittee on that very issue, how what tools are available, what tools we're using, and we're going to use that legislative hearing to be able to help inform us on a very, very large and important water bill that we'll be introducing in the very near future.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, you're watching Kern County in Depth. We're here with Congressman TJ Cox. After the break, we're going to be talking election. Stay with us.
The crunchy nacho overstuffed quesadilla. Part nachos, part quesadilla. Pure handheld yum. The crunchy nacho overstuffed quesadilla. Only $5 and only at El Pollo Loco. Feed the flame.
I'll take a grande, no foam, triple cap, double pump vanilla latte with 3.5 ice cubes, slightly shaken, extra whip.
Yeah, that's going to be an upcharge.
Great! This one is on my Kasasa cashback checking account. Kasasa pays me cash back on everyday debit card purchases, plus refunds on ATM withdrawal fees. Go on, take back banking and treat yourself to monthly cash rewards.
Switch to Kasasa Checking at Strata Credit Union.
Weatherby's Porterville store closing. Porterville location only. Weatherby's Bakersfield location is participating in this savings event. Now is your chance for huge savings in all departments. Millions of dollars of store and warehouse inventories will be sold, including brand names like Ashley, Lane, Serta, Michael Nicholas, Best Chairs, and more. Weatherby's Porterville store is closing. Don't miss this huge inventory sell-off event with reductions up to 60% off. Going on now at Weatherby's Furniture, Chester and 7th in Bakersfield.
The summer heat is here, and we're cooling off with big savings at Bakersfield Mazda. Lease our most popular vehicle, the 2019 CX-5 Sport, voted Utility Vehicle of the Year by AutoGuide.com for as low as $245 per month. That's only $245 per month. Or if sedans are more your style, you'll love the Mazda 3 Sport for a low $235 per month. You heard right, only $235 per month. Join the happy family of Mazda owners at Bakersfield Mazda.
The $20 chicken and cheesy quesadilla dinner. Only at El Pollo Loco. Feed the flame.
Welcome back. You're watching Kern County in Depth. With just over 200 days until the primary election, that's March 3rd, 2020, here in California, and just over 400 days until the general election, we wanted to talk with the Congressman about the election coming up. Now, we recently learned that former Congressman David Valadao, Republican, he represented the 21st District for 3 terms. He has filed papers to run for the seat in 2020, and that would make for a rematch of the 2018 election. Take a look.
Republican David Valadao and challenger Democrat TJ Cox.
It was one of the closest 2018 congressional district races in the nation. And nearly a month after the election, Democrat TJ Cox officially defeated three-term Republican Congressman David Valadao to take the 21st congressional seat. The margin, just over 800 votes.
We can't trust TJ Cox.
Some have argued it also was one of the nastiest congressional races, with each candidate attacking the other through negative campaign ads.
That's exactly what Congressman Valadao is.
Ads that led to this during the KGET live debate.
He should be ashamed of himself for running these ads.
Now, we could be in for a second round, as Cox and Valadao are the only candidates who have filed papers to run in a district that, as of now, is overwhelmingly Democrat, the same district where Hillary Clinton defeated Donald Trump by 15 percentage points in 2016. In fact, more than 40% of the district is registered blue, while Republicans and no party preference are basically split at 26% each. Still, Valadao held strong during the previous two elections, defeating Democrat Amanda Renteria by a margin of roughly 17%, and nearly the same 2 years later when Valadao handily defeated Democrat Emilio Huerta.
Well, Congressman, as you can see, this was a very close election. First of all, what is your take to hear that Congressman Valadao has filed papers to run?
Well, it could be expected. You know, it was such a close race, but we're very happy. You know, the thing is, an election really gives you an opportunity to showcase what you've done, to make your case to the voters about how you have stuck to your campaign promises, how you've been effective, and how responsive you've been to the people that you serve. So very, very happy. You're always going to be challenged, but that's a good thing. You know, people know me. I love a challenge, and I love hard work.
So what I'm hearing then is you're not worried at this point.
We know that we're going to have a challenge, and once again, it just gives you a great opportunity to go out and show what you've actually accomplished.
It was a very close race, one of the last called congressional races in the nation. Just over 800 votes, as I mentioned, separated you and Valadao. And as you also saw there, overwhelmingly Democrat in this district, but there's still 26% no party preference that Valadao may try to reach out to. So what is your message to those who are not Democrat and not Republican?
You know, it actually was the last race called in the nation. It wasn't called into December. But here's what that tells you. It tells you that every vote counts. And so if you're deciding whether or not your vote is going to count, whether or not your voice is going to be heard in Washington, whether or not what you're concerned about actually matters and is going to be acted on, it absolutely does. So make sure that you get out and vote. I always say voting is the right that protects all of our other rights. And you need to be able to, one, protect that right and be able to utilize that right.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up here, as we are running out of time, I do want to also ask you, what is the biggest message you'll send to the voters, and especially what you want to achieve in your next term?
Well, it's very simple. I work for you. Whenever I meet a constituent and they say, "Oh, great, it's been great meeting you, Congressman," I say, "Hey, I work for you," and I'm very serious about that. I'm there to be your voice in Washington, whether or not you have an issue with Social Security, with veterans benefits, with the IRS, with immigration. It's not only myself, but my staff here in Bakersfield, my staff in Selma, throughout the district. We're here to serve the people of the 21st Congressional District, and that's what we focus on each and every day.
And those people, not just Democrats?
Well, anybody. We never ask. In fact, it never comes up in my town halls or whenever I take a meeting or anything like that. I never ask, what's your party? In fact, it never even crosses my mind. And that's the way I've always gone through life. I'm here to serve all of the people of the 21st Congressional District, to make a positive difference in their lives, in their businesses, and their opportunities for the future.
And looking ahead, do you think we could expect to soon see more campaign ads, and do you see this being as negative as a campaign as last time?
Oh, absolutely. When you won by 862 votes, you know, they're going to go nuclear on you. But I can tell you, it's going to be the same tired Washington playbook of trying to smear you and trying to make you something that you're not. But I tell you what, you know, I'm out there in the district. People know me. I was just in the Delano Filipino Weekend Parade. That was a fantastic event. We're going to Corcoran and Selma and Sanger. We're actually having an open house in Selma, but you know, we're out there in the district and really making a difference in people's lives.
All right, and on that note, you're watching Kern County in Depth. We'll be back after the break.
It's time to count your chickens, because McDonald's is adding them to breakfast. First, try the all-new Chicken McGriddles. Get the sweet taste of maple with tender chicken on soft, warm griddle cakes. Second, the new McChicken Biscuit. It's our tasty chicken on a warm buttermilk biscuit baked to perfection. And third, get them both. Right now at McDonald's, you can choose 2 of these sweet and savory chicken sandwiches for just $3. It's a brand new taste and a whole new breakfast.
Where's Daddy? Where'd he go?
The 2019 Nissan Rogue with available Nissan Safety Shield 360. This is all-around protection. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Now, get 0% financing for 36 months or save up to $4,000 on the 2019 Nissan Rogue.
K9 News is on the air.
And we have a scooper of a story for you.
All our friends at the Bakersfield Animal Care Center are up for adoption.
Don't make us beg. We want to see you August 17th.
Fees are waived.
Dogs are saved.
Take your friend for a walk.
Or just have a talk.
Wait, we could talk?
That's what I'm saying.
Clear the shelters. Saturday, August 17th.
I couldn't have said it any better myself.
This is no ordinary anniversary. This is the big one.
We're turning 42, and for 42 hours, take an extra 15% off and get no interest financing till January 2021.
For 42 hours this Friday through Monday, take an extra 15% off our most popular furniture.
Plus, get no interest financing until January 2021 on anniversary specials.
It's no ordinary anniversary. It's our 42nd anniversary event now at More Furniture for Less.
Keeping you on the pulse of what's happening. 17 News.
I do want to say thank you so much, Congressman TJ Cox, Democrat of the 21st Congressional District. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, Eytan.
Thank you. And I will say to our viewers, we are so happy and grateful that you joined us today for Kern County In Depth. And a final thank you to Jim Scott for allowing me to keep this seat warm. He will be back for Kern County In Depth next week. Until then, for all of us at 17 News, have a great week and a good day.
Kern County In Depth with Jim Scott is a production of Kern Golden Empire Television. For more information on how you can contribute, simply visit kerngoldenempire.com.